Hey friends, I'm Jimmy Gaddis. Retro Reacts time. We're talking Masters of the Universe, the upcoming 2026, summer of 2026 He-Man movie. Another reboot. They're going to give it another go. And let me tell you, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm keeping my expectations very low. And after hearing a new quote from the gentleman who's been tapped to play He-Man, Nicholas Galitzine, my hopes are still very low. In this video, we're going to talk about what he had to say, see how the cast is shaping up, and what the plot is expected to be, and why that is just added to the list of things that I'm already not liking. All right, so first off, Collider, a few days ago, Nicholas Galitzine says, Masters of the Universe reboot will be quite different from its source material. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to hear. Here's the full quote. Look, what I will say is our version is quite different from the original animation, which we can agree was camp within its own right and worked well for the time. It worked spectacularly for the time. He says, but there's been a couple of iterations, obviously, since there was the Revelation version of Masters of the Universe, we'll touch on that in a minute, and the comics themselves. And we're very much treating our script as Bible. I don't know if he knows, but there already is a Masters of the Universe Bible written in 1982 by Michael Halperin, which was essentially the guide to the 1983 animated series. So I don't think we need a New Testament, so to speak. We can just stick with the Old Testament. All right. He goes on to say, but it's kind of amazing to hear what this show meant to a lot of people. So let that sink in, which leads me to believe that I am of the understanding that he didn't know or doesn't really know how much this means to all of us prior to accepting the role. He says it was really formative for a lot of people, so it's exciting to do something that will have a nostalgia element as well as hopefully attract a bunch of new fans. So immediately I'm thinking, just think how this sounds. Tell me if I'm wrong. But he doesn't get it. Right out of the gate, the guy who's playing our beloved He-Man doesn't really get it. And he's only 30 years old, so how could he? He didn't open up He-Man presents for his birthday. He didn't open up Castle Grayskull or Snake Mountain on Christmas morning. He didn't play with the Slime Pit. He didn't watch the animated series nearly every single day. He-Man wasn't life for him like it was for so many of us. So I guess it can be difficult to put yourself in that role and truly know what it's about. And he goes on to talk about, hopefully this will attract a bunch of new fans. Well, you know what? I'm going to go out there on a limb. This is my take, and maybe not everyone will agree with it. I often hear, and you've probably heard it, because there was a lot of infighting among Star Wars fans, among, we'll call them the fanboys and everyone else, and that the term Star Wars is for everyone became a big thing. All right. I get it. I understand what that means. It is for everyone. It's for all shapes and sizes and races and faces, and I get all of that. And I guess the same thing holds true for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He-Man is for everyone. Maybe not this movie, though. Maybe this movie should be for us. It should be for everyone in their, mid to late 30s, 40s, and 50s who grew up with it, who get it, who love it, who it's a part of them. And I understand you want to expand the audience and you want to make something new to attract new viewers. Why? For that almighty dollar. Because you want to make money. You want to create some new characters and vehicles and play sets and things along those lines. You want to be able to make stuff that you can sell, especially to the kids. And I'm sure a lot of you have introduced He-Man to your kids and bought them the toys, right? I totally understand. But I still think the movie should be for us. And let me explain why. You often hear in life, if you're passionate about something, that you should do it and, essentially give unto others, right? If you love something, do it with all your heart, all your passion, and then the money will follow. All right. Well, that's my recommendation for Amazon and MGM, who are putting this thing together, is to make it for us. And you know what? In that case, I guarantee you the money will follow. You make something for us, the people that lived it and breathed it, and we'll go see that movie once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. We'll buy all the merch. We'll buy it for us. We'll buy one. We'll buy one to keep in the box. We'll buy one that we can take out. We'll buy some for our kids. We will spend that money. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're the ones that they're marketing to these days. Watch the Super Bowl. I guarantee you most of the ads will have people, stars, pop culture references. from our time. Granted, the boomers have got the cash too, but we now have the expendable cash, and advertisers know it. So I think if you catered to us, yes, I said catered to us, everything else will follow. And that means sticking with a story that we want. As was also mentioned by Galatzine, you've also got the comics. So you've got some source material right there. You've got the animated series, you've got the mini comics. I mean, I would love to see the Green Sorceress, the Green Goddess up on the big screen. You could go with the story that He-Man, yeah, he was powerful, but only had extended powers after he was gifted his armor, axe, and the battle ram. Okay, we talked about Revelation, and I think Kevin Smith did a decent job on that end, catering to us. He grew up a He-Man fan. I know the story strayed a bit. I would have loved to have seen more He-Man in that first series. Don't get me wrong. I love Teela. Especially loved Evil-Lyn in that series. Hottie for sure. And she was played by, what is her name? Oh my goodness. Lena Headey, Game of Thrones. Regardless though, it was beautifully done. We had all the main characters. We had obscure characters. We had the vehicles. He brought everything we grew up with. He brought it to life, and it was absolutely beautiful. Here's the other thing. It also took place completely on Eternia, and that's going to lead us to our next piece of media here from Deadline. And this was actually months ago. I was unaware. As I'm doing the research here, I'm just finding out. It says the movie follows 10-year-old Prince Adam, who crashed on Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home on Eternia. So maybe they did a little switcheroo, essentially. You probably recall Queen Marlena in the animated series. She was from Earth. She was a NASA astronaut and crash landed on Eternia. Met the king, yada, yada, yada. Had Prince Adam, and then we got He-Man. I'll go on. Adam, after tracking the sword down after 2 decades on Earth, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. So here we go again, and this falls into give us what we want. I don't want to see Earth again. I don't want He-Man on Earth. I get why he was on Earth in the 1987 movie. Financial reasons. It's very difficult to create Eternia back in 1987, so most of it took place on Earth. George Lucas hadn't come around yet and made the prequels to show us what CGI was all about. Or we probably then would have been able to see a floating Orko. Instead, you know, we got Gwildor, and I guess that worked. I don't get it. It's 2025. We have the means. I want to be on Eternia the entire time. So as for the official release date, right now it sounds like it's supposed to be June 5th. It'll be in theaters first, then Prime Video. Again, it's a product of Amazon MGM Studios. Shooting has not begun yet. No one seems to know when it will begin. Reportedly going to take place in London. Directed by Travis Knight, who did Bumblebee, which was pretty solid. The cast, as we mentioned, He-Man, Nicholas Galitzine, Man-at-Arms. I know a lot of people may be up in arms with the whole, oh, hey, he's been race swap. It's going to be Idris Elba, who I love. And seeing him in Thor, and seeing him in that getup, essentially being the gatekeeper. I'm not a big Marvel fan. I watch the movies, but I'm not that into them. Was he the gatekeeper? There is no Dana, only Zul. I don't recall what the role was, but I can 100% see him being Man-at-Arms, and I'm totally cool with it. Teela Camila Mendez, I'm really not sure. I'm again excited for Evil-Lyn, who's going to be Allison Brie, who was in Community. She was Annie Edison, so I'm super psyched about that. And then, of course, Skeletor, Jared Leto. He is an Academy Award winner, but I understand a lot of what he's touched in the past, most recently, has not done very well. But I can understand, based on previous roles, why he would be tapped to play Skeletor. So what do you think? Are you cautiously optimistic like I am? Do you have very low expectations for this movie? Are you excited for it? What do you think of the cast and how things are playing out? Let me know in the comments. I really want to have a fun conversation about this one, as He-Man is super important to me, and I know for many of you too. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, checking it out for the first time. If you're one of the many who have recently subscribed after some of the old videos picked up some serious steam, welcome aboard. Everyone else, thank you for your ongoing support. And if you want more He-Man, I recommend you click this playlist right here for our top 5 MOTU moments. It's where we look back at episodes and we find the top 5 moments that we likely overlooked as kids. So it's a really fun way to look back on the series through adult eyes. I'm Jimmy Gaddis. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.